It's Christmas Eve 2008. A man sits alone in a silent house, no celebration, no family, just the weight of everything collapsing at once. His marriage is gone, his companies are on the edge of failure, and after being worth hundreds of millions, he's down to almost nothing. He later said, "I never cry, but I thought I might cry that day." That same person is now worth $800 billion and is months away from being the first trillionaire in human history. What pushed him there didn't begin with success. It began with that empty house on that night when everything he built was falling apart. My name is Ashraf and we're here talking finance. People think they know Elon Musk, the rockets, the cars, the Teslas, the chaos, but the version of Musk the world argues about today wasn't shaped by fame or wealth. It was shaped by a series of financial decisions so extreme that most people would walk away long before they ever got close to success. The first one came when he was 24, broke, sleeping on the floor of his office, showering at the WMCA because he couldn't afford an apartment. That detail matters because the man approaching $1 trillion started with $1,000 and a futon, and the mindset he built in that room never left him. First strategy, the reinvestment principle. In 1999, Musk sold Zip2 for $22 million, and he was just 70 years old. A moment when most people will shift into protection mode, secure their comfort, and treat the win as the end of the race. But Musk didn't. Instead of locking in safety, he pushed almost all of it into the next venture, X.com, because he wasn't interested in preserving wealth. He was interested in building something bigger. When PayPal later sold and his share jumped into $175 million, he faced the same choice again. And once again he refused to settle. He splatted almost everything into the rockets company and an electric car startup long before either ideas made sense to anyone else. And that's the first principle behind every major wealth or fortune. By December 2008, the global economy was collapsing, and Musk was living through what he would later call the worst year of his life. SpaceX has failed 3 launches in a row, leaving only one rocket left, a final attempt that would decide whether the company will live or die. Tesla wasn't in better shape. It had just $9 million in the bank, well burning nearly half of that every month, and the financing round needed to survive was falling apart. Musk himself was borrowing money from his friends just to pay rent. The man who had once $170 million was now financially underwater because he had poured everything into 2 companies that looked doomed today. His marriage has ended, and he was alone, staring at the possibility that both venture and the decade of work were about to disappear. Then on September 28, 2008, the 4th rocket launched and reached orbit, marking the first time a private company had ever done so. And 3 days later, NASA called with a $1.6 billion contract. And on Christmas Eve, in the final hour of the final day, Tesla's funding round closed. The entire future of electric cars and private space flights survived by a margin of 1 hour. Every major fortune has a moment where it almost didn't exist, and the difference is who refuses to walk away. The second strategy, ownership over income. One of the most misunderstood parts of Musk's fortune is that he has never taken a salary from Tesla. His fortune wasn't built by earning, it was built by owning. And that's the fundamental gap between a millionaire and a trillionaire. Most people are trained to think in terms of income. How much they make, how much they save, how much they can set aside. But Musk thinks in terms of equity. SpaceX alone is now worth over $500 billion, and his stake in it didn't come from a paycheck. It came from holding ownership through years of doubt, failure, and public criticism. The question that changes everything is not how much do I make, it's what do I own.
I think if you aspire to do true work, your probability of success is much higher.
This isn't a story about the past, it's unfolding right now. SpaceX recently merged with xAI, creating a combined entity valued at $1.25 trillion, and the long-anticipated SpaceX IPO is now expected this summer. When those shares hit the public market, analysts project Musk will cross the $1 trillion mark, not because of a salary, not because of a lucky trick, but because of a chain of decisions that started with $2,000 and a futon and never stopped compounding. since then. So I'll return to that Christmas Eve. The empty house, the broken marriage, and the final hour before everything collapsed. People look at Musk today and assume the outcome was inevitable, but the truth is the opposite. The real story is what he did when everything had already failed. He stayed, he held, he kept going when logic, comfort, and fear all said stop. 5 moves built that fortune. He started lean and treated poverty as a discipline, not an excuse. He invested relentlessly and he survived the moment designed to break him. He chose ownership over income and he played a longer game than everyone around him. The point here is the pattern. The pattern is available to anyone. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is often one decision you haven't made yet.